Hello, I'm Owen Thorne, and I'd like to welcome you to a moment of quiet peace and gentle rest. Tonight, we will wander together through a sunlit flower field in a Renaissance countryside, discovering soft golden light and the sweet hush of blossoming petals. First, let your body settle into comfort. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears. Let your jaw unhinge and relax, and feel the warmth of your breath expand in your chest. Inhale deeply through your nose, noticing the calming flow of air, and then exhale all tension through your slightly parted lips. Allow the rhythm of your breathing to slow as you close your eyes or soften your gaze. Picture a softly lit horizon where the sun spills early morning light across a vast and open field, shimmering with gentle colour. The air is calm and welcoming, carrying the faint, delicate fragrance of fresh flowers. Each flower's hue seems to glow, creating a tapestry of dreamy pastels bathed in the glow of dawn. Now, feel your lungs open to draw in that brightness, that beauty, and breathe out any heaviness you've carried with you today. Your mind need not be busy here. Whatever happened before this moment can drift away like a faint echo in the distance. Breathe in, breathe out. You are safe. You are guided gently into this time of rest and renewal. Let the field invite you. Let your senses soften, your heart lighten, and your muscles melt into stillness. The world around you might momentarily slip away, replaced by this warm, welcoming vision of a Renaissance countryside beckoning you to walk under a wide pastel sky. Let this be your space of gentle exploration, where all that matters is the tender brush of sunlight and the gentle hush of a mild breeze. Inhale, exhale. Now allow your mind to journey into the story that unfolds, free from worry or distraction. In the soft hush of a new morning, a gentle traveller steps onto a time-worn path that weaves through a sun-kissed meadow. This traveller, wrapped in the silky light of dawn, feels the slow pulse of the land beneath gently worn shoes. The sky is streaked with tender pinks and pale oranges, a Renaissance masterpiece laid overhead. It is a morning that belongs to silence and calm, where even the birdsong seems to flutter through the air like a gentle lullaby. Before the traveller stretches an open field of flowers, their small faces turned expectantly toward the sun. Roses in soft ivory, daisies with bright golden centres, and wild poppies bursting with faint coral red petals all stand as if welcoming the day. Delicate buds of lavender sway gently at the borders, perfuming the morning with whispers of aromatic sweetness. The field lies cradled by low, rolling hills. In the distance, gentle slopes covered in sprigs of emerald grass meet clusters of cypress trees that reach skyward with slender elegance. The traveller stands motionless for a moment, breathing in the harmony of nature's early stirrings. Several centuries earlier, this countryside might have seen painters wandering these very paths with canvas and brush, hoping to capture the glow of the morning. Yet now, the traveller simply savours the living canvas around them, a display of artistry too infinite for any single frame. Each breath becomes a gentle appreciation for the wonders that greet the senses. The warm touch of sun across the forearms, the shimmer of petals in the softly shifting light, and the quiet that soothes the mind. A gentle breeze wafts through, rippling the tall grasses along the edges of the trail. It's as though the land itself is exhaling a tender sigh, inviting the traveller deeper into its embrace. Feeling guided by an unspoken invitation, the traveller takes a step forward, letting their gaze trace the undulating sea of flowers. It is a tapestry of colours, pale yellows, muted pinks, and dusty blues, that somehow remain luminous and subdued all at once. The traveller's steps are unhurried. Their feet press softly onto the earthen path, hardly disturbing the hush that blankets the morning. A distant bird, perched on a wooden fence post, issues a brief melodic note. Its song fades back into silence, as if mindful not to disturb the serenity that fills the air. The traveller notices how each gentle sound, the rustle of leaves, the faint sigh of a breeze, feels part of a lullaby orchestrated by the day itself. At the field's far edge, a scattering of stones forms a quaint walkway toward a modest fountain. The water trickles from a carved lion's head into a wide basin, the droplets echoing into the stillness. It is a relic from an older time, chiseled with the delicate skill of Renaissance artisans. The lion's head, smooth with centuries of weather, seems to smile kindly as it offers fresh water. The traveller draws near, placing a hand against the cool stone. A soft hush follows as droplets splash and then settle, forming concentric circles on the water's surface. For a moment, the traveller imagines the people of old who once gathered here, perhaps pausing to refill earthen jugs or share a quiet conversation in the early light. The fountain's gentle trickling offers a restful backdrop, blending seamlessly with the soft rustle of flower stems in the breeze. Beyond the fountain, the land gently slopes upward, leading to the crest of a small hill dotted with olive trees. Their twisting trunks and silver-green leaves stand as silent witnesses to the passing of many peaceful days. The traveller continues, the path curving like a quiet suggestion through the gently stirring blooms. Patches of sunlight peek through the branches overhead, forming luminous patterns on the ground, almost as if guiding each step. As the traveller walks, they notice the sweet interplay of shade and sun dancing across their arms and shoulders, an ever-shifting mosaic as clouds drift lazily across the sky. At the top of the gentle rise, the traveller pauses, taking in the panorama. The surrounding hills roll onward like soft waves, each tinted with a gentle blend of green and amber as the sun climbs higher. Stone farmhouses with terracotta roofs nestle in the distance, their windows reflecting the golden glow. Small lanterns hang from wrought iron hooks, though they are no longer lit, having offered their gentle light to the preceding night. A sense of timelessness settles in the air, as though this landscape has existed in a perpetual state of dawn, softly humming with the promise of a new day. Standing quietly, the traveller takes in the warmth of the countryside that awakens without hurry. A faint ring of church bells from a hidden village hums through the breeze, carrying its gentle call across the valley. The notes echo among the hills, blending with the birdsong and the traveller's own slow, steady breaths. As each resonant tone fades, a gentle hush returns, wrapping the traveller in a comforting stillness. Guided by curiosity and a yearning for deeper restfulness, the traveller begins descending the far side of the hill, following a narrow lane framed by cypress and laurel. Butterflies flit among the blossoms, their bright wings catching beams of sunlight. The traveller finds soft fascination in their graceful, meandering flight. No hurry, no worry, just a gentle dance in the warm air. This delicate movement seems to mirror the traveller's own progression. Slow, intentional steps, inviting calm and respite with each footfall. Now, the traveller notices a small wooden gate ahead, partly hidden behind an arch of climbing roses. The vines drape over the gate, their blossoms a blush of pale pink, nodding gently as the breeze passes by. Each petal catches tiny droplets of dew, reflecting sparkles of morning light. A mild squeak accompanies the traveller's gentle push on the gate. Beyond it, a path of smooth stones leads deeper through the flower field. Here, the scent of blossoms grows richer, enveloping the traveller in a cocoon of sweet, verdant air. The traveller's mind grows clearer with each step, as though nature's perfumes and the gentle hush of the morning are gradually washing away any lingering tensions. The path winds further, eventually revealing a small orchard. Low-hanging branches bear ripe figs and plump apricots, their velvety skins warmed by the sun. The orchard's stillness evokes a sensation of both fullness and gentle possibility. Bees hum softly among the trees, gathering nectar from tiny white blossoms. The traveller, respectful and curious, steps lightly between the rows of fruit trees, pausing to appreciate the gentle patchwork of sunlight on the orchard floor. A flutter of bird wings overhead rustles the leaves, briefly dappled in golden light. Then all returns to a hush, as if nature too wishes to remain in a state of calm reflection. Time becomes fluid and unhurried here, unwinding in delicate moments that blur into one another like colours melting on a painter's palette. The traveller feels no need to measure or mark these moments, letting the hush of the orchard guide them deeper inward. It is as if the orchard, the flowers, and the breeze form a sanctuary of stillness. Every step further from life's previous noise becomes a step into a realm where thoughts grow quieter and the heart finds ease. Past the orchard, the traveller spots a low stone wall. A scattering of wild poppies peeks through the cracks, their scarlet petals trembling in the subtle breeze. The stones are mottled with soft patches of lichen and moss, centuries of gentle weather, leaving their mark without erasing the wall's sturdy form. Intrigued, the traveller lightly rests a hand on the warm surface and gazes over the other side. Another panorama unfolds, a broader stretch of field filled with even more blooms, vibrant golds and pastel blues, dancing lightly in the mild sunlight. It seems as though the fields extend endlessly into the horizon, disappearing into a gentle haze where sky meets land. Beyond the fields, ancient cypress-lined roads meander toward a distant village. Sunlight polishes each cypress trunk to a subtle glow. Occasionally, a gentle gust of wind navigates its way through the narrow columns of trees, creating a soft whisper. The traveller, feeling a quiet sense of gratitude, decides to climb over a low step near the wall, descending a small path that leads into this broader expanse of flowers. A wave of tender petals welcomes them, the blooms swaying gently as if to say, "You are safe, you are welcome, linger here." The traveller meanders through the blossoms, carefully weaving between the clusters of colour. The path is faint but discernible, worn through countless seasons. Each step immerses them deeper in the comforting hush of nature's grace. The breeze carries faint echoes of a lute being played somewhere beyond the hills, its melody sweet and slow, reminiscent of Renaissance tunes that once drifted across these lands. Whether it's the memory of old or an actual musician practicing in some hidden courtyard remains a gentle mystery. Now and then, the traveller pauses to gently brush fingertips across the blooms, each petal soft as silk. A hush of contentment fills the morning air. In this corner of the world, serenity reigns, untroubled by the passing of time or the ebb and flow of distant cares. The traveller breathes in the sweet perfume that drifts from the petals, letting that warmth fill every part of their being. In the distance, the traveller glimpses a low stone bench near a trickling canal. The canal is narrow, its waters running clear and cool, guarded by shady willow trees. Their drooping branches touch the water's surface, weaving thin patterns on the gentle current. Drawn by the promise of restful quiet, the traveller approaches. Settling onto the bench, they allow their body to relax fully, sinking into a comforting stillness. Softly, they close their eyes, letting the breeze caress their face, ruffling stray tendrils of hair as it passes. The water's gentle current produces the faintest murmur, like nature's own lullaby. With eyes closed, the traveller's breathing becomes a steady, calming rhythm. The moment stretches, thoughts slow until they are like passing clouds, noticeable, yet distant and unobtrusive. The traveller feels at one with the hush of the field, the bending trees and the rustling petals. Before them, the flowers are no longer just a visual delight. They have become part of an unfolding tapestry of sensation, a cradle of softness and warmth. Sunlight filters through overhead branches, brightening the traveller's eyelids in a soft, rose-tinted glow. Gradually, the traveller opens their eyes, gazing upon the ripples in the canal. Tiny fish dart among sunbeams in the water. Overhead, a light swirl of leaves drifts from the willow's branches, spinning lazily before settling onto the canal's surface. This unhurried dance of leaf on water reminds the traveller of nature's easy grace. Nothing is rushed, nothing forced. The day expands in a continuum of gentle, shimmering calm, Refreshed by the bench's restful pause, the traveller rises and continues onward. The path meanders a bit farther alongside the canal. It eventually leads to a humble bridge made of worn wooden planks. The structure is modest, draped in creeping vines that flower with tiny star-shaped blooms. Carefully, the traveller steps onto the bridge, feeling the soft give of the wood beneath. Leaning over the railing, the traveller watches the water flow underfoot. There is a sweet continuity in its movement, a gentle reminder that all things have their current ever flowing forward without haste. Crossing over, the traveller notices a slope rising gently, crowned by a small orchard of lemon and orange trees. The fruit glows under the warm rays, releasing a soft, citrusy fragrance that mingles with the sweetness of wildflower air. A passing breeze carries the faint chiming of wind bells hanging from a branch, each note dancing in the clear morning light. Once more, the traveller feels that sense of timelessness, as though stepping fully into an age of gentle artistry and natural wonder. At the orchard's far corner stands a low, vine-laced pergola. Its canopy of climbing wisteria creates a mosaic of cool purple blooms and dappled shade. The traveller sees a narrow wooden seat beneath the blossoms and chooses to rest there for a moment. Sitting quietly, they watch flecks of light shift along the pergola floor, mindful of the small insects busily travelling from bloom to bloom. Each buzzing creature plays its role, a tiny actor in this grand tapestry of gentle life. A sense of calm pervades every inch of the orchard, and it settles into the traveller's heart like a whispered lullaby. If a day could be measured by quiet joys alone, this one is a treasure of abundant grace. After a restful pause, the traveller continues through the orchard, noticing the ground transitions from soft grass to smooth pebbles. Underfoot, the stones yield a gentle crunch, their sound melding with the orchard's hush. Soon, the orchard opens into a hillside meadow where tall grasses sway in the breeze, their tips almost brushing the traveller's elbows. Buttercups and clover bloom amongst the grass, forming delicate bursts of colour that echo the pastel grandeur of the wider field. Here, the traveller is greeted by a broader perspective of the Renaissance countryside, a gentle sprawl of cultivated fields and the faint outlines of villas perched on faraway ridges. The traveller imagines life in those villas, slow mornings by sunlit windows, fresh bread and sweet fruit at breakfast, and the mellow hum of conversation woven with the chirping of birds. Everything in this land seems infused with an unspoken vow to savour each moment and cherish the natural gifts of the earth. The traveller moves gently on, guided by an unhurried curiosity. Wildflowers flourish along a gentle bend in the meadow, forming clusters of colour that ripple like watercolour strokes across the green canvas. Blue cornflowers, soft white chamomile, and pastel pink mallows all blend and sway in unison. The traveller finds delight in these subtle harmonies, noticing how nature layers textures and hues much like an accomplished artist. Nothing in this place is harsh or discordant. All is balanced in quiet serenity, as if attuned to a gentler pace than the hurry of modern life. A small bird alights on a nearby branch, its feathers shimmering in the sunlight. It peers at the traveller curiously, head tilting from side to side. Then it flutters away with a faint rustle. The traveller watches until the bird disappears into the horizon, wings beating softly against the bright sky. In the hush that follows, even the breeze seems to pause, allowing this memory to settle before continuing its gentle sweep across the meadow. Continuing onward, the traveller notices a cluster of cypress trees that flank a weathered stone arch. Passing beneath it, they enter what seems to be a hidden courtyard. Low hedges curve around the perimeter, and a central stone statue stands watch over a shallow reflecting pool. The statue is worn, its features softened by time, yet it retains an unmistakable grace. The traveller steps closer, noticing flecks of lichen on the carved robes of the statue. Water trickles from a small spout in its hand, creating a continuous rippling pattern in the pool below. Floating lily pads with pale white flowers drift calmly on the surface, each bloom like a small star shining in the daylight. The courtyard's hush is nearly absolute, a gentle hush that cradles the spirit, almost lulling the traveller into a dreamlike state. Sunlight filters through the leaves of a fig tree in one corner, casting shifting patterns of light on the pool's surface. Soft echoes of nature's quiet hum resonate across the stone walls, as though each sound has found a gentle place to linger and fade. The traveller closes their eyes, feeling the softness of this hush, noticing how their breath aligns with the water's placid rhythm. After a peaceful moment, the traveller opens their eyes and slowly moves through the courtyard's archway on the far side. Here, the path curves and leads back to the flower field, sloping gently downward, guiding the traveller homeward in a wide loop. The same fields, once seen at sunrise, are now bathed in the fullness of morning light. The blossoms have opened more fully, and their soft petals reflect a golden glow. The traveller walks at an unhurried pace, enveloped by the gentle hush that has remained ever present. Birds flutter overhead, weaving patterns across the sky. A few more bees hum among the flowers, collecting pollen with quiet dedication. The traveller notices how everything in this countryside has its serene rhythm, unrushed, deeply harmonized with the cycle of dawn and day. A sense of gratitude grows, warming the traveller's heart. Each gentle sight and sound weaves together, offering a sanctuary from the rush of busier days. Back at the origin of the journey, where the field first stretched wide beneath the morning sun, the traveller now senses the day's light beginning to soften. Though only a short time has passed, the experience feels timeless. The traveller lingers a moment by the edge of the meadow, fingers resting on the tall grasses and eyes taking in the Renaissance landscape once more. There is no need to hurry. Nature's lullaby continues, just as comforting now as it was at the break of day. Everything seems arranged for peace and renewal. With a tranquil heart, the traveller finds a quiet spot where the blossoms encircle a small clearing. Here, the sun's rays grow softer, bathing petals and leaves in a gentle glow. The warm air still carries the sweetness of the fields, though a hint of evening coolness begins to emerge. The traveller sits on a soft patch of grass, allowing the body to rest in the comforting cradle of the earth. As the breeze slows, each flower seems to bow in silent companionship. The traveller's eyes grow heavy. The endless hush of the countryside, the rustle of petals, the subtle chirp of distant insects, all weave together into a lullaby made of soft, flowing notes. Breathing becomes deeper, fuller, yet unhurried. The traveller feels each exhale releasing any final traces of tension. Each inhale draws in the meadow's gentle warmth, letting peace settle like a soft blanket around the shoulders. The sweet hum of this day now lingers on the edge of dream. Petals catch the last rays of sun, their colours fading into a tender twilight. The mind quiets, lulled by the softness of dusk's approach. If there are any lingering thoughts, they drift off like fireflies in the gathering darkness, disappearing into the gentle hush of night. The traveller closes their eyes, content in the knowledge that this place, this serene Renaissance field of flowers, remains a sanctuary that can be returned to again and again. In the soothing embrace of nature's hush, the traveller surrenders to rest, each breath a whisper of gratitude. The final trace of sunlight sinks below the rolling hills, and a quiet hush settles over the land. The flowers, the fields, the traveller all succumb to peaceful slumber under a sky that gently dims. Good night, dear traveller. Sleep well.